Hey guys, so I am in here. I'm gonna go through this recording. If you guys were in I just had a crazy debacle in the Blackboard where everything just kind of shut down on me, and I think it was the Blackboard which is crazy, because now I'm out of Blackboard, and for some reason everything's kind of working, but I tried to relaunch Blackboard, and again, it's not. It just goes nuts whenever I open it up. So I don't know, but let me give you the other half of what we were doing. So I'll go through these. It'll be a little bit differently than I would have gone through it, but I'll kind of give you guys some snips about kind of how this example would work if we were to do the whole dev process. So all right, so stage one is define the problem. Obviously, this one should be pretty obvious. A lot of times I always tell people, like, you have to have this before you have anything else. If you don't have an idea, you can't have money typically. If you don't believe me, go to a bank and try to get a business investment and don't have an idea. So you have to define a problem. You have to create, find something that you're going to solve for people. If it's game design, it's entertainment. If it's computer science, you're typically looking to solve a certain problem. So this is important that we have our problem. And usually it's not just an idea. Make sure that idea fills some kind of purpose. Stage two, think of possible solutions. Okay, so think of the solutions. So you have your problem. Now let's think about how we can solve it. And in computer science, in particular, we're going to come up with, this is kind of where we start to think about, okay, what's our algorithm going to look like? What is it? What steps are we going to follow in order to complete this, or to fix this issue? Select a solution. So once you have all of your possible solutions laid out, you have a discussion about what you might want to, which one you think is the most probable. We usually keep a backlog of these problems just in case, because you'll see kind of during the dev process that you get like halfway through and you realize, wow, there's some things we didn't realize. Maybe there is a better solution, so we keep a backlog of that. Create a plan. So a detailed layout of your software program. This is where you are going to, this is where a lot of pseudocode and a lot of comments come into play. Pseudocode is really important here, that you're able to just type out really quickly. I did not used to do this, but now actually all the programs I write, I do this. I write them out almost in plain English. I mean, it's pseudocode, but it's almost in plain English. And then I go back through my program and sit there and replace those with blocks of code that will accomplish what I put in real English. So it's much easier to do that than it is to just try to code straight. And a lot of people skip all the way down to step 5. So this is the most rookie programming mistake, or computer science mistake, or game design mistake that people make, is they jump right down to stage 5 and they think, oh, it's whatever. I'll think about my idea as I go along. And I'm telling you, it never works as smooth. And there are some people who can do that, but it's pretty rare. So we write the code. Writing the code is after, like I say, it's the second to last spot. So we write the code. We replace all of that pseudocode and all that plain English with real code. Then stage 6, we test the solution. So testing is the final stage, and we often loop through these. There's a lot of different revisiting. The testing phase may lead back to stage 5, where you're writing more code, and that's pretty common. You kind of jump back and forth between 5 and 6 a lot. You may even jump back to stage 4 or stage 3, or hopefully not stage 1, but you're often going up and down during these steps. But it's very important that we at least try to stay in this rhythm. So we talked about this example. We won't, obviously do this in here because we don't have everybody in here with us, but to do it. But you could. What I would encourage you to do is take this situation. This Jeremy is a 16-year-old boy, has a lot of board games. He wants to come up with a plan to play and rate and store these things over the next year. So maybe think about one of these steps and what it might look like. So for example, if you were, the problem is pretty obvious. Stating the problem is pretty obvious, but you could word this in a way that the problem is more solvable than it is. Writing the code, again, maybe you could actually write a code to do this. Maybe what were his steps that he'll take? Is he going to do it game by game? Is he going to do it series by series? So there's a lot of different things to think. Are you going to do it object oriented and have each game have its own properties? And so this is something to kind of think about. So anyway, so step 1, we're going to go through these. Again, just really quick. And once we, if we had classroom examples of you guys, I was going to bring them in and all that, but we don't. So, but define the problem. So this is you're coming up with an algorithm to solve some kind of problem. Think of possible solutions. All this we were going to do together, but we don't get to because you're not in here. Create a plan. So again, step 4 is kind of funny because step 4 usually has a bunch of steps kind of built into it. So you go to create a plan, and this is talking about creating a plan for how you're going to. It's funny because it's almost like you'll just put the same steps into this, but it's true. Like, you're going to come up with this plan, and you come up with a series of steps that you're going to accomplish that are, kind of more specific to your project. Okay. So we have the missing dollar problem we were going to do. Again, you can do this in Python. I will share this link out with you guys with this video because I think it's a cool video. So I'll share this out with you. I might even could do this now. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can do this now. Can I open up a new? Because like I said, I'm having trouble even opening up my browsers and stuff, which is so frustrating. Let's see. Here I have this eBay search. I'll go right here and let's see if this works. Really? All right, guys. So this is like the day of plague for me, but anyway, all right. So guys, I hope that this gives you some kind of overview of the dev process. I'm really sorry this has gone so awry. But what I would like you to do is make sure that, and this is something I wanted to highlight to you guys today, make sure that you guys are completing these checkpoints. So for example, in Unit 7, which is where you guys just started working in, there are checkpoints everywhere. Checkpoint, checkpoint, checkpoint. Sometimes there's 3 and 4 of them in each module. These are worth a pretty decent little chunk of your grade. So some of you have just been skipping these, and don't do that, okay? Because this is to prove to me that you understand the stuff that you're reading, but also it shows me your pace. It shows me where you're at in the class. So I can actually watch those checkpoints and see kind of where you guys are at. And it gives me this idea of like, hey, I need to send this person an email, or I need to call this person and let them know like, hey, I see where you're at. We need to get you going a little faster. And some of you are turning in your projects, but you're not doing the checkpoints. So go back and complete those checkpoints. They're participation grades. So if you do them, whether you get them right or wrong, you still get the points for them. It's just a pacing thing. And hint, hint, a lot of the questions on the test are very similar. None of them are exactly the same, but very similar to the questions on these. So this is a good idea. So please complete those checkpoints. If you haven't completed them in the past, go back and complete them for Unit 5 and 6 because they're actually worth a pretty good chunk of your grade. So if you're right on the edge of passing, this could make the difference. Okay. All right, guys, if you need me for a learning conference, please reach out to me. I have a couple of sessions open for this week, but I definitely have a lot of time open next week. So, we can meet Monday, Tuesday, whatever. Let me know if you guys don't have any questions. Send them to my email. But thank you again for dealing with this today. I know it was kind of a rough day, but I really appreciate it. And we'll meet back up next week, and we'll have hopefully a better class when it comes to the technical difficulties. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.